Hi everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform. And today I've got with me
Craig McCarthy, development manager at SwiftCase.
And Phil Whitby, developer at SwiftCase.
So things that we have seen or we don't like that businesses are doing, or the way that people operate in business, or even types of businesses, I suppose, that need to go into our Room 404, which is our homage to Room 101, but in a geeky technical kind of way that the 404, it's not been found anymore. And the first topic we decided on was business.
Yes.
So we're going to pick our own things, and we've done it separately, and we're going to pick things that we no longer want to find in the business world.
Meetings, they're the number one sort of time waster, and they're actually like deceptively expensive.
We were in one, weren't we, many years ago, and it lasted 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't think it
6 hours.
What?
I don't think it went anywhere.
No.
I think it went round in circles.
Yeah.
Is that an example of like the sunk cost fallacy, where you've been in it for 5 hours, so you may as well
May as well.
stay the extra hour?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do genuinely think that meetings are good in doses and for the right reasons with the right people.
Do you think it may be meetings are just another element of businesses where people are just doing what they think they should be doing? It might just be a problem with definition and semantics.
How people run their meetings.
Yeah.
Bad meetings.
There you go. That's it.
Bad meetings.
Unproductive meetings.
Meetings.
Yeah, they need to go.
Okay, good. In the bin.
Yeah.
So
We'll add a graphic.
Yeah. Some front end developer.
we'll vote. Only one's going to go in there, I think. We'll vote on which one afterwards.
My one is feature creep. Feature creep it's one of those things where you've got a project and you've outlined, the objectives, what you want to achieve with that particular project, but either halfway through or towards the end, something crops up. Someone asks for something else.
Right. We've just thought, it would be great about this.
We just realised we actually need this as well. It's not great. Mm-hmm. It's not great because suddenly, you've allotted an amount of time to spend on this and money, of course, and suddenly there's another thing to add in. And sometimes I think people think, this will only take you, it goes back to what we were saying before,
5 minutes.
This will only take 5 minutes, you did that. Whereas it's not that at all.
Yeah.
Like, we were expecting to finish this by Friday, now it's going to be next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Something else comes along as well. It's a very dangerous concept, I think, and I think it's something that we need to stamp out.
I think it's especially annoying because estimation of project finish times, as we know, is like very difficult, if not impossible.
My one I came up with was businesses where people are reluctant to change. So where people say, I've always done it like that. But they somehow expect to get different results. Yeah. So they want to improve their business, they want to grow their business, but they want to do everything exactly as they've always been doing. And they're just unwilling to look at anyone else's opinions. So whether this is internally, so whether this is a boss that just doesn't listen to their staff, even though their staff have got ideas about what would be better because they might have brought something from another company or might just have their own idea, or whether this is someone who wants to employ another consultancy or and outsource some work, but then they want to micromanage it all the way because they want to do things they always did. So we're going to talk about design fads, design features that we do not like to see on websites.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Craig, you're going to take the first spot.
I mean, to be fair, mine's the overarching theme with it really is that I really hate style over substance. I think it's awful when someone decides. I worked in design for many years and I was very guilty of this at times, where because something looks great, they don't need to include certain bits. Like if ultimately a design, like a big banner, a big animated banner at the top, gets in the way of the actual information that you go into the website for, then it's rubbish. And probably the worst one for this, just to make things look good, doesn't aid the experience in any way, is when designers do things to sites where it's very difficult to scroll. So as you're going down the page, maybe they've put some custom scroll bars in there, and I've seen this time and time again.
Some of them aren't activated by the scroll wheel.
Exactly. Yeah. Or they don't go at the same speed that you're used to. Designing a website doesn't end at creating a layout.
Yeah.
Creating it in Photoshop.
It's not a Photoshop thing, is it?
Exactly.
Mine is the dreaded pop-ups. So I think in the past we used to have loads of windows would open and pop-ups would come up on different browser windows, and I think some sites may still do that, but
it's a very early noughties thing that reminds me of.
The default on that was like, you had to used to install pop-up blockers or get Chrome plugins or whatever, but now I think it's like pretty much out the box. Pop-ups are turned off for websites, so that people moved away from those to kind of in-page pop-ups, and what you'll find is you'll find pop-ups if you've go to leave the website, or even just pop-ups that just pop up straight away. You've gone to a website and immediately there's a pop-up
subscribe
in your face. Subscribe to this. I've not even read your blog post yet. Why am I going to want to subscribe to this?
Well, these major organisations, we're talking about the New York Times, Washington Post, things like that. They will, do that. Once you scroll to a certain point, it will go, subscribe for more, or you reached your limit on articles, or
Yeah, and I think that there are benefits of doing it right, and certainly there's ways to do it. So if you've scrolled like a certain number of pages and you've been on the site for 5 minutes, then like you don't mind like something coming up, but not if it's like literally landed on your page and immediately there's a thing that says, sign up and join our thing or buy this from us, especially if it's something that's not even related to the article that you've gone to. You go to a shop, you walk around, you browse, and it's the same thing in a shop, isn't it? It's like, I hate it when you go into a shop and as soon as you walk through the door, someone's in your face, can I help you with this? It's like,
the fear of that really is what makes people not go.
People go out, people go, oh no, I'm just browsing, thanks. Then you feel awkward that you're browsing, and then you don't spend as much time looking around as you would have done if you were just left.
That leads on to my pet hate, actually, which is the cookie part of it is your cookie settings when you arrive. Now, I understand why it has to be done. What I don't understand is why the legislation can't say when you open your browser for the first time, you put in your preferences then, and then each site can then pull those preferences
I completely
automatically. Agree. Why does it I have to do it on every site? And as well as that, there's certain sites, and it's always the sites that I know, certain media, newspapers or whatever, who I've never thought of being particularly honest or would have a really circuitous way to set your cookies. So some of the sites would be like, hey, do you want to take cookies or not? Yes, no, right, fine, that's fine, come on then. Or they might say, well, if you don't, then we can't serve you adverts, we won't make any money, right? So that'll be the end of it, and they won't force you. Some will kick you off. Some, and the ones I hate the most, are the ones that say manage your purposes, which is already obfuscatory language. You go through and it's got a list of all the companies that they're affiliated with that will read the cookies or leave a cookie, and you would have to manually deselect every single one of those to prevent them tracking you.
So we're going to look at antiquated business practices.
I think that really shops need to die a death anyway, and I think that the practice of having a physical shop to sell your items in is quite antiquated, and it's time we acknowledged that we don't need shops anymore. And
this one might be controversial.
I'll let you
don't need shops. In effect, my belief is that they'll become like galleries anyway, where people will go to just touch the product because there is a functional use marketing wise to have people touch things because they're much more inclined to buy them. But actually, relying on shops as a source of things to buy is unnecessary, especially with what the future, which will have less than 1 hour delivery, maybe even 20-minute delivery by drone. But the reason why I think this is really antiquated is because they've always been open at really inconvenient times, and unnecessarily making people work in these jobs as well. I mean, people will probably refer to commercial shops as a industry, a bit like we refer to coal mining and all these industry practices that people really have to suffer for no reason. Because they're open usually between sort of 8:30 and 5:30 or 5, and generally people can only get in at lunchtime, so they're probably really busy during this lunchtime period, and really busy a little bit before work. Most people are in work and can't shop for 90% of the time that shop's open. So I just think get rid of shops.
My sort of room 404 is work hours and restricted work hours. The idea that everyone works 9 to 5, and that's somehow a working day, no matter what like your sort of background is, what's going on at home, what type of work you do. This idea that we have 9 till 5 or 9 till 5:30 or whatever, it's just presenteeism. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, like, what if you've been up all night, like because you've had a newborn baby and like you've been, or you're looking after a sick relative. Why have you got to be in at 9 o'clock the next day?
We've said it before as well, haven't we, that certain people just do generally work better at certain hours.
Yeah. The key issue is that when it's difficult to measure performance, you become paranoid about performance, so you then sort of fall back on presenteeism.
Yeah.
So
it's a proxy for
like
performance, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's actually incredibly difficult.
And then you get people like want to push the boundaries because they want to use that. It's like, they become workaholics.
Exactly.
Like, I stayed till 7. Yeah, but did you produce as much as someone in the same time period?
Yeah. Isn't that a big issue they have in Japan, where like people literally are just competing with each other to
well, they just don't go home, do they, in Japan? Like you're in work more than you're ever at home.
Well, my one, very similar really, is I'm not too bothered as long as the work gets done. And you feel comfortable doing it, you're getting the best out of yourself. That's why I don't believe in these dress codes. Now, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here, because I do believe that you should enforce somewhat of a dress code when it comes to the likes of shops, because it needs to be clear to the consumer that those people work there. But I think if you're working in the likes of an office and maybe your clients aren't constantly coming in and things like that, you shouldn't really need to enforce a dress code. I think as long as it's not offensive, it's not harming anyone, then it's fine. Does it really matter what type of shoes you wear?
I suppose it's an explicit dress code, isn't it? Because I suppose I wouldn't say that we have a dress code, but I suppose we have an understanding that it's an implicit, appropriate dress code. So if you're going to be in the office by yourself, it doesn't really matter what you want to wear. It's up to you. But if you know you're going to meet a client, then there would be an expectation that you would not go in like shorts and like flip flops to go and meet a client, because you're representing the company.
And it's marketing, isn't it? Really. But I think if you're kind of isolated away from customers, I'm thinking if you're working like a call center or something like that, or you are in an office where it's just the staff, if you feel comfortable wearing a particular, set of clothes, then do it, because you're going to get the best out of yourself.
But I think also, again, like maybe contradicting what we've already said, I think if someone's good at their job, we shouldn't be reinforcing the negative sort of stereotypes about the way people dress either. So if someone's like, the big one for this is maybe not dress so much, but maybe, like we've heard about teachers not being allowed to teach because they got too many tattoos, or they got piercings or whatever. But if they're a good teacher, why does it matter? And if we stop people from seeing these people because that's a bad image, we're only reinforcing that as being a bad image, because they never see any people who are a good teacher who's happens to have tattoos.
Or a paramedic or something.
Yeah, exactly, where it doesn't matter.
So today's topic is marketing and marketing techniques, or ways people market to you.
It's called confirm shaming.
Okay.
Does that make you realise what it is yet?
No.
It's when you are given the offer, so you go on a website and it says subscribe for 10% for a 10% discount, and you go, no thanks, I don't want to save money, right? And then so the negative option is like something like, I'm a ludicrous idiot, subscribe to our mailing list about recipes. It's like, no thanks, I don't like good food. You know what I mean? Like, or no thanks, I don't like to save money. You know what I mean? And I think
this has now become my favourite technique, because now whenever I unsubscribe to anything, I'm going to be looking for it.
Well, actually, one of them was really good. It was like, I think it might have been Tumblr's own one or something like that. And it said, instead of saying no thanks, it said, wow, no, I'm a baby, or something like that. Literally. So I think, it is actually a good opportunity for people to kind of mock the process itself.
It probably leads on quite nicely to mine. I hate cold calling. It's the worst thing in the world.
Doing it or being part of it?
Receiving it. I really, really can't stand it.
Anyone that likes it? Old people? Maybe?
Yeah, but even them. But the problem with them is that they can't get them off the phone. Really, but it's horrific, isn't it? Because first of all, it never happens out of working hours. because that's the time they work.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm never really inclined to answer it, or I think it's someone trying to contact me about our work directly. So I'm inclined to answer it just in case it's, a potential customer or things like that. But no, it's always about switching energy, isn't it? Or, just PPI
pension review.
Yeah.
My one's pretty similar to yours actually as well, but it's more in an online capacity. It's kind of like the cold LinkedIn message, if you like. So people who connect with you, and then immediately you get a message on LinkedIn.
It's like within 2 seconds.
Within 2 seconds of you clicking connect. So it's clearly automated. It's not them. And it's a copy and paste message.
Yeah.
And it always seems to be people who want me to outsource web development to.
I get them all the time as well, actually.
And this company is just like a front for some big farm, web design farm in India or China or Eastern Europe or something like that. Because they always come up, they've got the same price structure, and the person's face must be like stock photography, and they just connect, and straight away it's exactly the same. It's a message that's about 10 lines long with the middle bit just a load of pricing information. It's I can only connect to you because I'm trying to grow my network on LinkedIn. Quite happy to help people.
When someone connects you, you might think, oh well, they're genuinely interested.
Genuinely interested in something we're doing. There might be some mutual benefit. But no, it's connect, yes, message, straight on, sell. It's like the equivalent of if you went to a networking event and someone just
and you just
threw the flyer in their face and went, this is our price list. You wouldn't do that, would you? You'd say hi, you'd get to know the person, you'd ask them what they did, you tell them what you did. And that's what LinkedIn's meant to be the electronic version of, isn't it? It's a networking platform. Not you wouldn't do that in person. You wouldn't come and slam that flyer in someone's face on just hi, bang.
It's a shotgun effect, isn't it?
Yeah. They would just do it as much as possible, and eventually the same as cold call, isn't it?
It's exactly
someone answers. They only need to have a return on investment. It could be 1%, but they call enough people, get a big enough number, eventually you'll get a return.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, what a lot of these companies don't realise is that number, if they had a better process, they'd get a better percentage.
Yeah.
So cold approaches to marketing are going into room 404. And that means you won't ever get a cold call again, obviously.
And if you want a warm approach from us, then don't forget to head over to SwiftCase.co.uk, and also follow us on social media at SwiftCase UK.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Brilliant. That's been great. So thanks for listening and watching the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name is Adam Sykes, and we'll see you again next time.